this episode with a knock-knock joke?
Yes.
Okay, you start.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I don't know.
Okay, we should probably get on with the show then.
You're stupid.
People come into our office all the time, and because we just have an open door, there's a bunch of people. They always come in there, knock, knock, and I'm always like, "Who's there?" And then they just like,
They're like, I wasn't expecting an actual answer.
I think maybe one or two people have ever actually had a knock, knock joke ready. It's very disappointing.
Moral of the story: always have a knock-knock joke prepared.
Always have
Especially if you say knock, knock.
right? You said especially if you come in and say knock, knock.
Who's there?
Doctor.
Doctor Who?
Woo-wee. Oh, God, I wish you could see the look that Adam just gave me.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Boo.
Boo-hoo.
Why are you crying?
Stupid.
Knock, knock.
Sorry, Cliff. Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
I am. Thanks for stealing my next knock, knock
Crap.
joke. Welcome to Byte Me Podcast, episode 87. My name is Adam West.
I'm Cliff Johnson.
The Dylan.
Yeah. All right, so this week we've got stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff.
All the stuff.
Some things.
So it seems like there's somebody who doesn't like the word survival to describe the new Fallout 76 game. Who is he?
Todd Howard.
And he is?
The most important person that works for that company.
Yeah, I don't care.
VIP, very important person.
Rainbow Six is banning players for using hate speech. Good on ya.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the Division 2? You might want to check out the first game. Just to make sure. I'm guessing so that you can reacclimate yourself to those systems and stuff.
Jeez, right? No.
Because, no?
No.
Oh.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Sea of Thieves Cursed Sales update is out the end of the month, and Alien Colonial Marines is taken down by a single typo. I don't know what that even means. Is that a game?
It is.
Oh.
Or it was a game. It's a 5-year-old game.
Oh.
It's still a game.
It's still a game.
Yep. PUBG custom games are free for now. Nathan Fillion doesn't voice Cayde 6 anymore, and he doesn't think he's dead. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, because that whole trailer thing.
Gossip.
Also, pretending to be nice, it works.
Apparently.
Thank you for
God, that was an amazing read.
That was really good. And cheating for the greater good, question mark. We'll talk about that.
I think it's very interesting.
I do
It's
too.
pretty funny.
Yeah,
It's pretty funny.
I agree.
You want to hold out for that one?
Yeah. Questions from Vinny, JoeColeslaw, Alan, SuperHyperMightyWepaman and Mansocks, of course, with the most important question of the week. And cheap free games in Origin Access. We'll talk about that. But first, what we're playing. Dylan, what are you playing? Because you're finally playing something.
Forza Horizon 3.
Now, is it Forza or is it Forza? Because I've heard it pronounced Forza like everywhere.
I don't know.
I'm not going to put that much emphasis on a Z.
It probably depends on how I'm saying it. I think it's probably Forza.
It's probably Forza.
Yeah.
But
I don't know why it's Forza.
I don't either.
I don't either.
Because, I mean, it's not Fortnite, it's Fortnite.
True. I thought it was Forks Night.
I thought it was Fork Knife.
Whatever.
And then I got real hungry.
I just thought it was 2 weeks.
Anyway, what are you playing?
Forza.
Which one?
Horizon 3.
Is that the one with the Hot Wheels stuff?
Yeah. Amazon Prime Day, there was a deal. So I got it for $25 digitally.
So you got like
Which
right
was
away.
a pretty cool deal because not only was it not a disc, but I clicked buy and
Did that
then they
have any
sent
of the-
me a code and I clicked the link and then it downloaded to my Xbox.
That's just the standard edition.
Yeah.
No, it's all right.
That's wow, judge
It's
me.
half off.
Oh, it's half off. Yeah, no. I did the same thing. I think it's a great deal. That's maybe a little more than I paid for it, but I bought it on wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Black Friday, and
So it's like $25. I'm not at a loss in the next 3 months, but the next one comes out and is obviously going to be better because it's going to be prettier and more of a good thing.
I tell you, every day that goes by, I almost buy the $20 DLC for that.
Oh God.
I really I've literally played the game for 45 minutes and I want the Blizzard expansion because driving in the snow seems fun, even though driving in the rain is an absolute pain in the butt.
Oh yeah.
My buttocks is sore from how big of a pain it was.
So have you played a Forza game before?
Yeah, I've played quite a bit of Forza.
But the motorsports, right?
Motorsport.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar and different game. And the cars drive very similarly.
Yeah.
The physics is very similar. Now the terrain is different. But as Cliff has explained in his enjoyment of this game is very quickly, I think, why I like this game as opposed to Forza Motorsport 1 through 7.
I'm almost sorry I said anything.
Is I really enjoyed games like Need for Speed and like I really liked Midnight Club as well. And I think games like those, like the Need for Speed Most Wanted, I think they started doing it in Need for Speed not Most Wanted, Underground 2. And like Midnight Club it wasn't just like click on a race, play race, click on next race, play race. You actually like drove around the city to where your street races would happen. And that's very much what Forza Horizon is. You're in this big island and they're like points of interest. Go to those points of interest and that's where races happen. And you can drive along and find cars and race them to recruit them to your festival. And it's like there's just enough story that ties it all together and like makes it matter and makes it make enough sense that it's not just like click on race, play race, click on race, play race, which kind of I think what makes, as not a car person and someone who particularly likes racing games like Cliff, I think we share very similar feelings, is that burns you out. Like Forza it's a great game, like Forza Motorsport, but I'm only going to play it for a half hour to an hour and I'm kind of burnt out on it because there's no real, like that's all you click race, play race.
And that race might be 20 laps of a mile and a half track.
Right. So, and like this is just like, it's really pretty. Like you drive around, like you have reasons for doing things. Like you're getting like these sponsors or like you're trying to sign music or whatever, like a
Open a new
goofy,
festival.
it really doesn't matter, but it's enough to pull it together and make me like race for a reason. And that's cool.
Well, I like it that sometimes I will play for 45 minutes and not race at all, where I'll just go around and do like the barn finds that I was talking about last week, or just try and get above 150 miles an hour through a speed trap to get, you know, the next level of that speed trap, or just try and do 400 yards off a jump that I'm jumping off of. Or sometimes I just drive around, like, you know, sometimes I'll just screw around, like looking at a new car. Last night I bought a 1970s Charger and made it into the Dukes of Hazzard car.
Oh, nice.
It was really cool.
Well, see, how long has Forza been doing that style of kind of open worldy kind of thing?
I think always.
So
this is
like,
the third. That's the third one in the Forza Horizon.
Yeah, so
series.
there's the two series. Forza Motorsports is on 7, I believe.
Yes,
and that's just
more traditional track racing.
Traditional track
it's
racing.
like real supercar racing, like real fast cars on real racetracks that exist in this world.
Yeah,
okay.
And
like
then Horizons
very much based in reality.
Yeah, Horizons is just an open world. Things are not. I mean, it's very realistic. So I don't want to say like wackadoo, but there is a Hot Wheels level.
And there's also like when you start the game, there's a helicopter flying a Jeep around, and
there's some fun races. There's a race where exactly that, where they're like, okay, here we go, and you have to race a helicopter carrying a Jeep, and then at the very end they like drop the Jeep, and you have to beat the Jeep. There's a race where you have to race a train, and there's 2 parts of that track where you have to jump over a moving train.
Right. What?
But it's also cool, like the Drivatar system of the game is so fun because you play with all of your friends, and so even if you don't have the game, your Xbox Live friends can show up in your game. So I could like find an Atom car that you're theoretically driving and then challenge you to a race, and we'll just, and it literally just goes like, okay, and then kind of zooms in and goes, here we go, and then pops back out, and you have to race down a predetermined path on the road you're on to try and beat that car, and then that person will come race on your team with you. So
and if I get cut off, I'm like, screw you, Vinny.
It's super fun. I beat Vinny. It's great.
So gives them a little personality.
But it also is constantly saying, like, hey, you just went through that, speed trap at 160 miles an hour. This person that you're friends with that does play that game has done it at 175. Try and beat them. Oh, wow. Or you've discovered 125 roads in this thing. And like Vinny, it actually comes up for me all the time because he's a person that's actually put a bunch into this game. He's found 200 of those roads. So like you want to try and keep beating Vinny. Oh, he did it faster than you are in that race. And when you race actual races, you're racing against all your Xbox Live friends.
Wow.
It's
peer pressure is kind of on.
It's really fun. Like, and that's the thing I played this week too. The difference between Dylan and I is I actually played it this week using a steering wheel.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I went over to my dad's house, and he'd kind of casually mentioned like a month or two ago that he bought one, but he's moving. He moved from his apartment into a house, and I got there, and there's this steering wheel. So I'm like, oh, cool, you got it. Yeah, I forgot you got a steering wheel. He's like, yeah, do you want to try it? Like, I'm moving. I'm not going to have a chance to use it. And so I tried it out, and it is really fun. I think that steering with the steering wheel is better. It's really easy in Forza because you're driving at 130, 140 miles an hour to just overcorrect just a little bit. Yeah, and you'll just spin out. And the wheel makes that a little bit happens less. The gas pedals, I'm not.
Did you just actually push down there was a gas pedal down below your foot?
Yeah, I did. The gas pedals are strange. Like, how in a car that you drive, you push down on a gas pedal and it moves. This is a visual thing, but the thing here, and you actually literally push the pedal down this way. The pedals on this are almost kind of like an up and over kind of feeling. So it's like more you kind of push up and forward. That just doesn't feel like actual driving to me.
Right. Because they're not levering from the top. Probably,
yeah. And that's the thing.
A foot pedal. It's not actually like a...
Exactly. A real one feels like it's kind of hanging off the kind of the back of the side of your car, and you push it down. And this one, the axis on it moves from the bottom forward. And it feels kind of awkward, but... whatever.
Maybe if you did it more.
I'm sure if you did it more, it was fun. I only did it once. I wasn't actually wearing shoes either, which might have made a difference.
You put your driving shoes on.
My driving shoes. I have my driving gloves on, of course, but yeah.
And your goggles and your little hat.
Yeah. It was...
your suit.
Like I said, I've said this 3 weeks in a row. I don't know what it is about this game that
I don't like cars. I don't like racing games, but I love.
Well, it's
Forza
like, do you want to tune up
3.
this car? I'm like, not really. It's like, do you want us to auto tune this car for you? I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want. Right. They're like, give us some fake festival money and we'll do it. I'm like, done, ka-ching.
Here's some dollars. Do it.
So it's fun.
My one big question is when you start the game, you get to pick your car, right? I picked the BMW.
Yeah.
I liked the BMW as opposed to my 3 other choices. And then you play a little bit more, and then it's like, okay, you can give a SUV-sized vehicle, right? And it gives you 4 options. And I don't know why it does this to me, where it's like, here, have the Jeep. And it's like, I kind of want the Jeep. But then it also gives you a chance to have the Lamborghini, which costs twice as much and is completely superior in every way. And it's like, why would I ever pick the Jeep when I can pick the Lamborghini it's way more value. It's way better value for free.
Like the Lamborghini off-road one.
Right, yeah. So it's like, I'm not going to pick the Jeep, even though I kind of want to, but it's free, so I get a really good value.
To me, I think it's kind of like a Pokemon Gotta Collect Them All thing. Like, there are 519 cars in the game that you can own. Right. And I have probably... I don't know. I'm going to say 30 cars now, maybe. I don't know how many exactly. And I drive 4. But I like the idea that somewhere in a imaginary garage somewhere, I have 40 cars and each one of them has a custom-made job and they're all real fun. So... I don't know, man.
Yeah. I just think that's kind of funny that it gives you 4 options and one is just completely superior to the other 3 in every way, and almost doubles the value you're getting than the lowest tier one of the 3. I'm just like, why would I not pick the best one?
I mean, on the flip side, the other
make
day,
them a little closer, or have their stats be a little bit better. This one's top speed's a little better than this one's accelerated, and they're not. It's this one is just hands down better.
But I mean, I think objectively that's just how cars work,
right? Don't offer me that one. Make me make a decision.
I mean, the other day I did spend 100,000, probably not, maybe 50,000 credits on a little 3-wheeled car that I think Mr. Bean drove, and then put an R2-D2 skin on it. So nice.
Lamborghinis don't handle very well on the beach.
They do not. But the Lamborghini SUV handles really well everywhere.
It's better.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, before we get into the other game you're playing, Cliff, we're going to take a break because I have to talk to world-renowned voiceover artist Tasia Valenza. You might know her as Poison Ivy.
I've heard of her.
Yeah. So we're going to talk to her for a completely unrelated issue, and then we'll be back. And we're back.
Yay!
Mm-hmm. I know it only seemed like a mere split second to you listening, but that was
it's 2 split seconds for us.
Yeah,
we talk fast.
Super fast.
I mean, it's been about a half hour.
It does. It's been a while.
So anyway, we are back to talk about video games. Cliff, what else are you playing other than the Forzas?
I played the Forzas. I played a little... this is actually kind of interesting because I actually spent the weekend in Canada, and I played a little bit of Death Road to Canada.
Is that called Cliff Drives a Car?
This makes me nervous.
Yeah, right? No, it's actually kind of a cool roguelite, probably roguelike survival zombie game where you start out in a zombie apocalypse, and you've heard that Canada is safe, and so you have to get from where you are to Canada, and it's all just procedural and wacky, where you'll be driving down the road and you're like, okay, so you see a grocery store. Do you want to stop at this grocery store because you need some supplies? And so you stop at this grocery store, and you may find a bunch of supplies there, but you also may find a bunch of zombies there. But you may also find a person that might help you, and they might have a gun, or like zombies might steal your car. So every place you go has these wacky decisions that you have to make of like, do you want to stop there? Do you want to keep going? If you keep going, will you run out of gas? And then some of them you'll stop at and actually like walk through these little cities and go in and actually find supplies and fight zombies. And it's very pixely and very silly, and it's available literally everywhere, I think, by now. And it's tons of fun, and it's still being updated, even though it came out quite a few years ago, I believe. It has some wacky stuff in it too, like if you play on Christmas, like one of the guys that could maybe procedurally pop up as Santa Claus, and just goofy stuff. But I did not see any zombies in Canada, but game's fun.
That's good.
It's on sale all the time too.
Nice. You should pick that up.
Good.
So I am playing. What else? Okay, yeah. So I was trying to make sure that was the only thing I'm playing. So I started playing Octopath Traveler.
Ooh, I hear there's 8 paths.
Octo.
For 8 characters.
Which means, yeah.
It's a convoluted name.
Anyway, so my friend Victor did the same thing that you kind of did when the Switch came out or whatever, where you were like, I've got one. I ordered it. It's on the way. Oh, wait, here's one right here. I'm just going to buy that.
I want to play it now.
I want to play it now. So he pre-ordered it physical, and then he just couldn't wait. So he bought it digitally because it released at like 9 o'clock Thursday. Before I even got it, he's already put like by Saturday, he'd put like 16 hours into it. Yeah, he's not messing around. But anyway, so I got it last night, and I started with, I believe my character's name is Cyrus, and yeah.
And you're enjoying it so far?
Yeah, so far I'm about 2 hours into it. I've already gotten to, not the next chapter, but I picked up my first extra traveler.
Sure.
Ophelia, I think is her
Does
name.
it feel different than that first demo of it?
Not much.
Not much?
No.
Man, that first demo, I was really... there was a lot of things I liked about it, and there were some things I didn't like about it, so...
Yeah, I like the art style. I like the story.
I love the art style.
Some of the dialogue, there's a lot of dialogue.
And that was my complaint about it, is that, and often like the dialogue that they were speaking was not the same dialogue that was kind of showing up
right.
in the...
So, to get around that, because I asked Victor, I was like, so are you listening to it? What did they fix the dialogue? Did they update that? Basically, it's kind of the same.
Sure.
So he just turned on the Japanese
sure, and
language.
so then he reads it. That's
yeah,
kind of
and then
okay.
just read it. That way, he said it's like listening or watching an anime.
That makes sense.
Because I have no idea what they're saying. They could very much be saying exactly what's on the screen.
Saying bad things about your mama.
And that's fine. That's fine. My mom will whoop them. But
your mama would whoop them.
She would. But yeah, so that's what I did. I turned on the Japanese audio, and I'm just reading it.
Yeah, I think it's a game that I'm going to buy eventually, but it's not a right now game.
Yeah, it's a time investment from what I hear.
Yeah.
But I'm down for it just because I like the way it looks. I like the way it's telling the story. The music is absolutely phenomenal. The music's incredible.
It's selling super well too. They actually,
I think Square said they apologized because they underestimated the demand of the game itself.
The physical copies, yeah. So that's good. Even though it may not be exactly my game or it may not be my game right now, I love it when people find things that they love. So it's a genre that's kind of been underserved on the Switch. So
yeah.
Cool.
I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to reporting back in about 83 hours. So that's what I'm playing. And I'm also playing this game on my phone. It was one of those Instagram ads where I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. I'll get that game. Well, it's called Love Balls, and you're such a child.
It's funny.
I'm a child. Come on.
You bought it.
I didn't buy it. It was free.
He gets his love balls for free.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I only accept free love balls.
But it's kind of a cool little physicsy kind of game where you have to get a ball from one side of the screen to the other, and it's ad supported. It's super fun. It's dumb.
Nothing wrong with that.
But it's one of the few games where I downloaded from like, oh, look at that ad. That looks like fun. That I've legit had on my phone for about 6 months. So,
yeah,
and I'm still
whenever
playing it.
they get me with those, I'm like, this game sucks. I hate it. And I delete it.
That's usually what I do.
Well, it's because he keeps downloading that horrible strategy game that was advertised by that swimsuit model. I don't remember her name.
Cayde Upton.
Yeah.
What is it? War.
Oh, War.
Yeah. She's like, my prince, come and save me. And then you like look at the game. It's like
was that
Civilization 2.
It's like Time of War or something.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
Game
that was.
Forward.
He keeps expecting it to be something that's not.
It's
That's the
not.
problem.
It needs more Cayde Upton.
It's not Cayde Upton in a bubble bath.
I did not. I
It's a
promise
really
I
bad
did.
I'm pretty sure
turn-based
Mariah
strategy
Carey
game.
was actually. She did an ad for them too.
She did. Yeah, I think she did.
Yeah, so
I
that's your
promise
fault.
I have not downloaded and tried that game.
I do not believe him in any way.
Anyway, so there you go. That's what we have been playing. All right, before we get into the news, make sure if you're listening on iTunes, you like us and rate us and review us, and we'll send you stuff and talk about you.
We like you.
Excuse me. I don't know why I'm dying all of a sudden.
We're breaking down.
All right, there you go. Wow, this water I'm drinking is not helping. Okay, so what
It's not
else?
smart enough.
This is bad water.
We have a Patreon. If you'd like to be a patron, you can support us that way. And we have goals. We're unclear of what our life goals are, let alone our Patreon
We'll figure
goals.
them out. We'll get there.
We'll figure that out.
But
We've got 4 levels ranging from just a, hey, you're going to get this early to, hey, you're going to get this early, and we'll talk about you and send you stuff, which is our producer level.
we will talk to these people.
Yes.
We have Joel Cole Jr.
Joe Cole Jr.
Yep. And Vinny. Everyone knows Vinny.
Everybody knows Vinny.
And Alan, and I believe his last name is Schulte. He came into Discord earlier and told me the right way to pronounce it, and that was like 4 hours ago, and so I've forgotten it. But I'm pretty sure it's Schulte.
You said Schulte.
Yeah.
I remember
Been
that.
confirmed.
But he's hanging out in Discord now, too, which is great.
Super fun.
So, yeah, it's always nice when we have new Discord people. And Kevin Schuld.
And Schuld, not Schulde.
I don't know.
There's Schulte and Schuld.
There's no E, so we're just going to assume Schuld.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for the patronage.
The patronage.
Look at that.
We can
There's-
paint murals of you on the ceiling of Adam's studio.
Dang, we should do that. I still have 2
That would be
big
kinda
Be
magnets.
very patronly.
Yeah. I still have 2 big magnets left if someone else wants to hit us up at the producer level.
You should do
So,
that. Because those magnets are the magnets alone are kind of worth it.
Yeah, they're fun.
All right, so we've got quite a bit of it to talk about, so let's get right into it. It's called
News.
Wow.
There it is.
I swear to God, every week that it just hits me a little bit different. It
I don't know
shocks
why.
me
It's
every
the same
week.
thing every time.
I don't know.
I try to throw it from a different angle.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get right into it. Todd Howard does not like the word survival used to describe Fallout 76. Well, Todd, I'm sorry. It's a freaking survival game.
Apparently, it's not so much, though. He's saying that.
Trying not to die.
Yeah. Well, but when you're thinking of survival, you're thinking about Rust. You're thinking about Ark, where there's marauding bands of people that are going to come up and screw
Ruin
around with
all
your
your
stuff and
stuff.
breaking your things. And apparently, Fallout 76 is not that game. He says that a lot of time when he's playing single player. He's not even really seeing other people. We've said this a couple times, but that Fallout 76 is not going to be. There's not going to be that many people in every server, and the servers are huge. And so he's saying, we don't want new people to come in and hate this experience because they're getting marauded by a bunch of people who are effectively trolling in this game.
Right.
And so, yes, it's a survival game. Because, yes, you're right. You're trying to survive. You're in a wasteland, with mutants and other terrible things. But it's not Ark. It's not Rust. It's not a game where, you're going to go around and you're going to start out naked and then be killed by a marauding band of other naked guys.
Right.
So, or girls, whatever. The game chooses for you. But this really sprang out of, hey, if Fallout 4 was multiplayer, what would it be like? So that's a different game than what Ark's going to be. So
True.
Again, I'm just every update that they come out and they clarify a little bit more about Fallout. God, I keep wanting to call it Interstate 76, and it is not that game. Every time,
Is that even similar to this?
no, it's nothing
just-
like it at
oh
all.
my
For some reason, they both have 76 in it, so I keep saying it.
Okay.
Fallout 76. Everything they come out, I'm just a little bit more excited about it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this out. That's my biggest worry though, is that the
Same.
whole survival thing. I'm like, I tried playing what was that Conan thing, and I see games like Ark and I see games like Rust, and I'm curious about them, but I don't want to jump into a game where 5 minutes into it, I'm dead, got to start over.
Well, I don't want to play a game where even worse, I'm going to put 2 or 3 days of time into it and build something cool and then have it destroyed by dummies.
Those stakes are way too high.
Yeah, same. And so this game, to me, is all I've ever wanted was Fallout multiplayer. And if that's what this is, then great, I'm in.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Rainbow Six. Let's move on. Rainbow Six is banning players.
Excellent transition,
Thank you,
Adam.
Todd Howard.
What they've got they're insta banning players using hate speech.
Yeah.
Really?
In text. So if you're typing things that contain
So if it knows a word.
racial slurs and words that people are using to replace racial slurs. So the first one I saw these the other day, and it made my heart like grow 3 sizes that day, was some dude posting, and I'm not going to say what he said, but he used a variation of the N-word and said, I just got banned from Rainbow Six Siege for saying this word. And the first reply was the Rainbow Six Siege account, and it just said good. And I'm like, oh, dang.
Wow.
But yeah, apparently right now, and it's various stages of banning. Like, I think your first ban's only a 30-minute ban, but I think you only get 3 strikes, and then you're done. And they kill your account. So they're like, we're not putting up with this crap anymore.
Yeah, according to the article from IGN, after the first instance of breaching the game's code of conduct, you're banned for 27 minutes, and you can't play Siege at all, including custom games. Second and third offenses turned into a 2-hour ban, with the third leading to an official investigation with the possibility of a perma ban.
Crazy. And that includes language or content deemed illegal, dangerous, threatening, abusive, obscene, vulgar, defamatory, hateful, racist, sexist, ethically offensive, or constituting harassment. And like, that is 100% awesome by me. I want every single game company to do this. Like, it's great.
Wow. And if you're like super, super, super bad, like, you can be banned completely without warning, without a 2-7 or even 15-day ban being applied.
I wonder at what
you can
point
just be like done instantly.
I wonder at what point, since Ubisoft games, at least on PC, are all done through Ubi app or whatever it's called. I don't know. They have their own launcher. At what time they'll just say, "Hey, you're just banned from Ubisoft games."
Right.
You know. And
Sorry, I had to yawn there for a second.
You're
like looking at me.
So interesting.
Sorry.
Ubisoft also just announced that they actually sold more PC games last quarter than they did console games. So.
What?
Yeah, weird.
How is
huh?
that possible?
I don't know, man, but it's a thing. Probably Siege and The Division, and some of these big. What's the For Honor? There's some stuff there.
Right.
So, but I adore this. So.
Yeah. It's sad that they have to like make these laws because like you think that we could just play games, but at some point they're going to just have to make a list like they did and say, if you do this, you can't play anymore.
Yeah.
And I kind of like think of it as, if you're at home, you can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah. You want to
You're
play single-player games?
Phone, right. But when you come to work or school, you can't just yell whatever you want in the hallway or at your desk, right? And that's what playing games is. It's like you're here in a community and you have to act like an adult.
Well, when you're in somebody else's playground, like, free speech isn't really a thing.
Well, again, that's not the idea of free speech either.
Yeah.
It's not just I can willy-nilly just say whatever
and
crazy thing I want.
The reality is you 100% can say anything you want while you play those games.
Right.
You are constitutionally allowed to say whatever horrible, hateful thing you want. That doesn't mean there aren't consequences.
You're not free from consequence. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
That's God. I wish more people understand.
Right.
Free speech is fine. Free speech is great. It doesn't mean free from consequences.
Exactly. So what I want to see is, we're going to talk about this in a minute, but Overwatch has a new solution too. What we need to do is just get both of those together,
right?
And everything will be perfect.
Getting closer.
Yep.
I'm just to take a slightly.
A detour, you may say.
I want to weigh both sides of this, though, is anytime we see language or content deemed illegal, blah, 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 it's still not clearly defined.
Yeah.
So people are going to say a certain word that they might not have thought was...
Well, and that's
content deemed illegal, dangerous, threatening. So at some point, there really needs to be very clear instructions. Like when you sign into the game, it says, you can't say any of this stuff.
I think that you can't do that, though, because it's, especially when you're talking about things that are hateful or abusive, like those terms are hard to define. But that's why there's 3 steps, too.
Right.
That's why you're not getting insta-banned forever off step 1.
And the investigation at the end.
And I think that's the reality. Is if something you're saying is bad enough that you're getting banned on step 1, you knew that wasn't the right thing to say. And I mean, obviously, too, there are... there are situations where, like, things that you may say in, say, Australia.
Right, that's what I'm thinking, too.
Right.
Geographically, people's vocabularies are very different and mean very different things.
And I think that, this is a learning process, and it's a process that we haven't had to address except maybe in the last couple years. Like, no one really started doing these, hey, let's clean up our community kind of stuff. And so it's a new thing, and they'll figure it out. But I think really what's going to happen is eventually it's just going to be all automated. It's going to be magic.
But regardless, everything is on it's steps in the right direction.
Correct.
So, all right. Up next, Ubisoft, their Clever Division 2 promotion might want to send you back into the original Division.
Yeah, so Division 2 comes out in, I'm going to say, March of next year?
March of next year is what it's currently slated to.
And they're trying to get people, and like Adam made a really good point, is that the Division is more complicated than you think it is.
There's a lot going on.
It seems like a game where you just go in and like, hey, we're going to shoot bad guys in this game and everything's going to be fine. But really, like, you may be a guy that shoots bad guy in this game that is also a medic, or you may be a tank. Like, you can actually really specialize in these games, but the game doesn't do a very good job of explaining that to you.
Nope.
But what they're trying to do is actually just get people back into the Division in preparation for the Division 2. And so what they're doing is launching these things called shields. That you can go in and do certain actions to win. And what they'll do is they'll unlock things for you that will unlock in the Division 2. So
what about the people who never played the first Division?
Hey, now it's on Game Pass now. Like, get in there and play, because it's fun. It's really fun. But so there's going to be 4 different shields, and you get them by the first one's, I think, essentially everyone who's played that game for more than about 20 minutes is going to get it. Unlocks a bunch of weapons. But later it's like, do these 20 missions in the Dark Zone to, some of them are hard.
Yeah, the Dark Zone's no joke.
Well, and you've got to be, level 27 to even get to it?
You've got to be level 30 to get in.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It's been a while. But it's a really interesting idea of using your old game to push people into your new game. So I like it. I think it's a cool idea.
Sorry, I'm still looking at this just because I'm really interested in this, and I've got it on. That's the thing.
We should load up an Xbox.
Oh well, I can do it on. Oh, I can't transfer all my progress from my PS4 over, so that means I'd have to.
But the problem is like no one else is as high level as you are on the PS4, so we won't be able to play with you.
It wouldn't be fun anyway.
We should all start Xbox ones.
Just throw your PlayStation in the garbage.
But I've got like 173 hours to sink into Octopath Traveler.
You can play that when you're alone. You can play that with us when we're all here.
When you're on the pooper.
Yeah. Just leave your...
Oh, yeah. Octopoop Traveler.
Oh, jeez.
All right. And we're done. All right. Sea of Thieves, the next expansion, Cursed Sails, is on the way, and that is coming out when?
July 31st.
I think I should also say that Vinny made me put this in. Like...
He really wants us to know
He really, really wants everyone to know about it. And, me too. Like, I think this actually looks really fun. We've talked about this update a couple times, and it's finally here. So this is the update.
On July 31st.
On July 31st. It's really here 2 weeks from now. This is the one that's going to add skeleton ships. So you can go in and fight NPC, not PvE, I suppose, instead of PvP. Which looks super fun. It's going to unlock that 3-person ship that they've been talking about for a little while. It is going to also add... Oh, shoot. What was the last thing? There's something else I wanted to say.
The 3-person ship?
It's the 3-person ship. Oh... I don't know.
An alliance system?
Oh, that was it. It was the alliance system. Yeah. So it actually gives you...
Look at me just throwing a shot in the dark.
Good job, Adam. It'll actually give you some incentives to actually team up with other people on other ships. So you can actually get together, join up, and go fight the bigger things like those horrible skull islands, and probably some of even these skeleton ships. So
for something like this, we played it on Game Pass. Do we have to pay for this?
No, all the content's free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the last DLC that came out is free, and this DLC will be free. And I believe there's actually even updates in the future that are going to be free as well.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay.
I'm very excited about this. The thing I really, now that all of my current needs have been met for this, what I really want is that alliance system, but with your friends. Like, how cool would it be able to get, especially with the 3-person ships.
Yeah, if you just got like 5 ships of 3 people, and then you've got 15.
Armada.
How cool would that be, though? Like, to actually
ship
get...
Armada?
Yeah.
It's like an armada of dinghies.
An armada of ships.
Yeah, because, I mean, I think with
all of my friends
sailing
the seas.
With Xbox like parties, you can have like 12 or 15 people in it, which I mean I'm sure gets crazy, but it'd be really fun to have like 3 4-person ships or 4 let's say 3 3-person ships or 4 3-person ships and just go out and just rage as Dylan says often.
Rage on the high seas.
Yeah, I like it. I think it'll be fun. So I'm excited to try that after the 31st. Give it a go.
All right. Next, Aliens Colonial Marines. Aliens Colonial Marines.
Is it Colonial or is it Colonel Marines?
It's Colonial.
I know.
I'm like,
I'm kidding.
Mess with my brain.
Yeah.
Aliens Colonial Marines. Was it known for having really bad AI?
Yeah. So this game came out like 5 years ago, and it came out after a really good like E3 demo where people played it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this game is awesome, super hyped." It's a Gearbox game. I mean, like, so this is made by like a big legit publisher.
And it looks good.
And it looks good. And even people that have played it said, hey, this is kind of fun. It just, the AI is weird. Like, it's not that the AI is bad. It's like the AI just doesn't understand what it's doing. It's dumb and it makes poor decisions. And a bunch of modders have been working on trying to, like, make this game better for 4 or 5 years now. And literally we're going through an INI file. So this isn't even, like, compiled code. This is literally like a settings file that anyone can go and edit. And they found that they spelled tethered in a setting, TEA,
Tethered?
instead of tethered, TETH.
Oh, nice.
And getting rid of that A makes the AI way smarter, because essentially what it looks like is that when new AI is populated into the game, when new bad guys are populated, they get tethered to a location, and that location tells them what's there and where the exits are and where like vents are and where the player is and how they should react to that area. And then when a player comes in, they get retethered to that player. And so then they start going like, oh, okay, hey, I know how to flank this guy because I know where the vents are in the ceilings, and I know where the player is in relation to me, and I know where the player is in relation to the map. With the misspelling, that tethering never happened. And by changing it, they go, oh, hey, we're smarter.
Wow.
The thing that I love most about this is, Gearbox software could have been dumb, and the internet reaction to it has been as negative as you'd think it would be, because the internet's full of idiots.
Is it called an accident?
Well, and it's gamers that don't understand how programming works. Well, I would have thought that would have been caught during QA. Oh, I would have thought they would have fixed that afterwards. They're like I literally have spent 4 or 5 hours. Like, there's a semicolon missing in this code I've written somewhere. I don't know where, somewhere, and it won't work until I find it. Bugs happen, and they're hard to fix. When you're literally talking millions and millions of lines of code that make these things work, that bug could have been anywhere.
And kind of have to guess to start anywhere, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't have to be surprised that this doesn't happen more often. That something like this, because this is probably even harder to find because it's
outside the actual code base. It's
an extra letter in the middle of a word. It's not like I don't know. Like, the
thing is this. It's not the first time it's happened to. Like Civ 5 or 6 the other day, they found an exact same thing where they'd mistyped something and it made the AI broke. And Civ 1 or 2 is famous for this happening with Gandhi. That's why Gandhi is such a horribly violent person in Civ.
What?
Is because they set his
It makes me laugh.
The level of
his nuke happiness is...
Yeah, it's supposed to be set to, like, say, 2. And then they can actually lower from there. And his was accidentally set to 0. And so when they lowered it, it cycled back in bits to 255. Oh, no. And so
maximum nuking.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's super easy. Like, things happen. And if you've ever done software development, the last I mean, when you hear about crunch happens in the last 2 or 3 months. It's horrible. Like, how many bugs can you find when you've been awake for 19 hours? And that's the 19th day in a row you've been awake for 19 hours. Wow. You know, stuff happens. And should it have been fixed post-release? Yeah, sure. But it probably didn't sell very well, so they probably pulled the team off of it.
Whatever.
You know? But
they went for tea.
Gearbox yesterday put up a job posting for spell checking. And literally they're like, must enjoy spell checking. And then you have to be able to fill out this form. And the form literally is your name, your email address, and then how do you spell tethered? And then gave 2 options.
That's great. So I'm applying.
Right. It's good stuff.
All right, up next for the 5 people still playing PUBG. I'm kidding. That's a joke. I'm joking. It's 6. PUBG custom matches will not have an associated cost during the beta. However, that might change in the future.
Yeah.
So to have a custom match in the future, you're going to be like, here's $5. I'm going to make a custom match.
Or a subscription. They haven't really said. But, like, custom matches have existed as a thing for a while, but you could only do it if you were a partnered
invite
person.
basis.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was, like, I want to say there were 80 people or 80 organizations who could do these custom matches, and it was PUBG partners essentially, or like really big streamers would have PUBG custom matches, and they just barely opened it up to the public in a beta thing. But they're really limiting it. There can only be, I want to say, 10,000 of them at a time, or 1,000 of them at a time, some number.
Yeah, right now the custom games right now are limited to 10,000 concurrent running games to make sure everything, doesn't get
which is still crazy. Like, still 100,000 players. That's crazy.
That's a lot of players.
But right now they're saying, hey, this is free, but they're saying if you want custom access to custom servers once it releases, that, hey, maybe they'll charge. And they haven't really said what, but it could be, I don't think it's probably going to be a per thing, but it might be, hey, you pay $5 a month to have access to custom matches. And like, I get that. Yes, it costs money to run custom servers, but I don't know, Rocket League does it for free. Mm-hmm. A lot of other games do it for free, and I think I'd feel...
But Rocket League is making their money. They knew exactly how to do it when they came out the gate with their game. They knew how they were going to make their money, and they've done it, and they've consistently supported it and come out with these really, really cool things where I feel like PUBG is just kind of like...
Well, PUBG's tried some stuff.
It got so big so fast that I don't think they realized what to do.
But at the same time, they sold, 40 million copies of this game at $30 a pop? Like, yeah, I get that things cost money, but you also made a bunch of money.
You made it.
And
so
you've been doing this, they've got loot boxes, they've got, I don't know, PUBG constantly seems like they're on the verge of oh, this isn't going as well as we thought it was. Guys, this Fortnite thing's eating our lunch, so I don't know.
They seem to try to overcorrect, and then they're into a different storm. They're never getting on the straight path, because I just don't I understand they tried to introduce the emotes and the skins and stuff, but it's just not the same as Fortnite. Fortnite's wacky, it fits. I don't have any interest in PUBG, and it doesn't add when they have these cosmetics that you can actually pick up in the game, but they don't do anything, and it's just. There's just not that extra layer where you would want to put money in.
Well, it seems like PUBG's been caught up in kind of a weird loop for about 3 months, too, where they're not making enough forward momentum on changes because they're so caught up in trying to fix their cheating problem, too. And they're not doing a great job at fixing their cheating problem either.
They sell 30 million copies at $30 a pop, and I'm sure they've sold more than that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's almost $1 billion. That's $900 million.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And
we need more money to run custom servers. Yeah.
No, you don't.
I don't know. The entire thing it doesn't quite pass the smell test for me.
Smells
that phrase is always so weird.
Yeah, kind of.
Whenever I hear that, I'm like, that's a creepy way of saying it doesn't work.
I wonder what I don't know. It's just something I say. I don't know exactly what the etymology of that is either. I
mean, it's the whole is this any good to eat? You pull it out of your fridge. That's
true.
A smell test.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not.
I'm not eating PUBG.
Mm-mm.
Okay, that was weird. All right, if you're excited for Destiny 2's expansion Forsaken coming out, Nathan Fillion says he doesn't believe Cayde 6 is really dead.
And he's also not the voice of Cayde 6 in the Forsaken.
Which really sucks because,
It sucks just because, like, I think this whole thing sucks. Like, Cayde 6 is literally the reason to play Destiny. He's by far, he's the best of the Guardian leader folk, like by a lot. And so, like, I think it's kind of a bummer that they killed him. I think it's kind of a bummer they killed him in a, essentially a reel that they showed at E3.
Yeah, like, hey, by the way, your favorite character?
Yeah, but then they didn't even get him to voice that. Apparently Nolan North is doing it. The dude who I think is Nolan North is Nathan Drake, right?
Yes.
I want to say. I mean, he's like, he's a great voice actor. He's a tremendous voice actor. He's done a ton of stuff. But it's just kind of a bummer that, for his final thing, they couldn't get him back in. And he said he was just busy and that it was a scheduling thing. It wasn't that they didn't want to pay him, whatever. But what a kind of crappy way to go out. But his theory is that he's actually not dead. And I think he said that, like, I don't think he knows anything. I don't think he has any insider information. But he's like, he's a guardian, right? Like, they can come back to life. Why would he be dead? But,
right. Well, like, I'm sticking by my original thought that he is, he's a cybernetic kind of guy. Like, he's a cyborg. Like, his consciousness is going to be supplanted into something else.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to be gone.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
I hope not, because I love him and it would make me very sad. BioWare, or Bungie, has said that, yes, he is very much dead. And even when they told that to Nathan Fillion, he's like, oh, well, So.
I know what you do. Would you say? You're a liar.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right. And the Forsaken when is that coming?
Soon is what I'm going to say.
I think the early fall.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
That's my guess. All right, pretending to be nice really works. But what if you're just pretending to be nice? What if you're not actually nice?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because you're not my friend, so I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Like, if you stop saying stupid stuff, like, the problem's gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's fake or not.
Yeah. So Overwatch introduced what do they call it?
It's the words escaping.
It doesn't matter. Either way, essentially what they do is at the end of every game, endorsements. Yeah. So you can say, like, hey, this person was really helpful and this person was super nice and we liked them a lot. And the entire idea was, if you can you gain XP by doing it.
Right.
If you can give people something for either actually being nice or, hey, just pretending to be nice, that it'll take toxicity down. And Overwatch announced this week sometime that they've seen a 25% drop in toxicity in unranked matches and a 15% drop in toxicity in ranked matches. So, and people were like, well, yeah, but it's just getting people to fake being, and they're like, who cares?
What does that mean? Like, I think that's the silliest thing that
I'm literally fake nice
all the
15
time.
hours a day.
If I weren't fake nice, I would be unemployed.
Right?
Well, a lot, real fast.
I'm confused at, like, how they know that, too. Like,
right?
Can you hear it in the tone of their voice that they're just, like, being fake nice? Like, I don't understand. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. So
are they actually vocalizing, hey, so-and-so did a good job? Or are they clicking a button?
It's a click a button.
Okay, gives kudos to somebody.
But also Overwatch has open chat. So, they can hear you. What I'm guessing is every single person that's saying, like, oh, I think they're just fake nice, is the kind of person who, and this is a great analogy, I think everyone's going to love that, are the kind of people that go to strip clubs and like, oh no, she loved me.
Right.
Oh yeah. No, it's real love this time.
Yeah. No, totally.
No, you paid her. No, she really liked me. Those are the people that are going like, oh no, it's all fake nice. I guarantee you that Venn diagram's a circle.
I'm going to give, like, the people that are being fake nice something here. Like, let's pretend that we were people that
I actually am a person.
Maybe had a toxicity problem, though. Maybe we were the angry players, right? And maybe we're actually taking a look in the mirror and being like, you know what? Maybe we don't want to be like that anymore. And maybe it is kind of a struggle to be nice. And maybe it's just because you're not comfortable being very nice but like using good communication in a positive way in a game. Like, maybe you don't know how to work as a team very well because maybe you just weren't exposed to a lot. So maybe this person's actually learning to be a better, like, communicator in a game. Like, I don't know. Like, there could be more to their fake niceness. It's like maybe they're trying to be nice and actually
be nice.
Like, I don't know. Like,
I think there's something to be said too about, like, pretending to be face nice and not getting tilted. As a very personal, for instance, when I used to play Rocket League, especially when I play Rocket League competitively, I get angry. I can't believe that. Rah, 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 rah. Mm-hmm. And my wife would look over and she's like, "Are you even having fun? Like, you just sound angry and mad, and like, is this enjoyable?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm just frustrated."
Right.
And so it was something I really had to like dial back. She's like, "You sound like a horrible person." I'm like, "No, I just hate that person." And so I understand the idea of like, you just need to be a little more accepting, and that fake nice is it's a thing.
It works for now.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
and not even lying.
No, and if we could combine this with the anti spam,
you literally can't say these
filter.
things, and if you're being nice, you get bonused.
Like,
Perfect.
it's right there.
It's
like when I bartended.
perfect.
It's like, I had to fake nice every damn day,
yeah,
otherwise
right?
I wasn't paying my rent.
Oh, geez, man! If you've worked retail or if you've worked fast food, 8 hours a day, you're faking nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, there's one way of getting it done. And finally, to wrap things up, cheating for the greater good. Explain this to me, please.
It's good.
This is good.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Basically, I believe I'm pulling the article up in case we want to reference anything, and it's slow on my computer. But apparently, there's a cheating problem in Splatoon 2.
Shocking. This is cheating probably everywhere, right?
Which I don't.
How?
Because people feel the need to cheat. If you're a cheater,
Cheater's going to
stop.
cheat.
Just stop.
Well,
Why
thank
are
you
you
for
doing
that. You just stopped all of them
I
from
stopped
cheating.
it. Anyway, somebody was so fed up with the cheating problem that they cheated.
Right.
But it was for the greater good because they happened to. Okay, Cliff has this image
so
pulled up.
they
They cheated all the way to the top of the leaderboards
and added their name 4 times as "Please add anti-cheat."
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. So, and the guy's name was actually "Please add anti-cheat." Is his anonymous name on Reddit, and he drew attention to it, proved that it was him, and then Nintendo banned him. So
He
I don't know if
cheated
that
up
worked,
there
man.
to post the message and they banned him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I mean he cheated.
He did, so that's fine.
He knew he was going to get cheated. Like he knew he was going to get banned,
and was actually okay with it. He's like
completely okay.
I'm
with
fine
it.
with it, and I just want to get that message out there. So it'll be very, very, very interesting to see over the next couple weeks how Nintendo reacts to this. I want to hear what Reggie has to say.
And the thing is, Nintendo banned him, therefore they saw
know.
it. They saw it. Now, if they do not do anything about it,
That's bad.
that's on them.
That's not good.
That's on Nintendo for
I
not.
had no idea that Splatoon had a cheating.
I don't know how you cheat on it. Like it's a console game. Like that seems. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Evidently there's ways.
Yeah.
People will do anything.
Little ink critters. Who
Like,
knows?
people must be that
Just stop
bad.
cheating.
Are people that bad at games that they have to go cheat to win at them? I
Let's
guess.
put it this way: I'm bad at games.
Yeah, Cliff's bad at games.
I'm legit bad at games, and I have no urge to cheat in a multiplayer game. Like I cheat my butt
Yeah,
off
I'll
in
put on
single
the
player
mods
games,
and stuff.
whatever.
That's fine.
But like, if either you go play multiplayer games as they're meant to be, or you don't play them, like I'm not going to cheat to make myself better because how does that make my game more enjoyable? That's just dumb.
Right. Well, I was listening to, I think it was the Game Scoop podcast, and they were just talking about something like this because they were talking about the whole, using ROMs and emulators and, save state this and blah, 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 that. And somebody, and not necessarily ROMs, but, the whole new versions of stuff with the save states on like the classic NES or whatever. And, does that cheapen the game? Is it this, is it that? And it's like, well, you know what? You paid for this game. However you want to play it, that's up to
Exactly.
you. It's your game. But that's when you start getting into gray areas when it's like, well, it's an MMO. This is not just your game.
Yeah.
This is everybody else's game.
To me,
as
like
well.
if you want to cheat on your single player games, do everything you want. If that's the way, I mean,
It goes
sometimes
back to the whole freedom of speech thing. It's like if you want to talk smack about in whatever colorful language you want at home, go ahead. But when you're in a playground with everybody else,
you play by the rules.
you can't say those things and not expect consequences.
Yeah. If you want to play
kind of
in
thing.
God mode with all the guns in every single player game you want, because you're interested in playing through the story, you're interested in getting to the end, you're just whatever. Like more power to you, but that's just dumb.
Or you're just bad.
Oh, I'm just bad.
Oh,
That's
I'm
fine.
terrible.
Yeah, I'm bad and I don't have any
Real
time. Like combine those two things. Yeah, sometimes I need God mode.
Right.
Anyway,
All right, there's all your news.
That's it.
It's done. And we're out. This is not a good show for segues this week.
It's okay.
It's bad.
It's been a rough week already, man.
Yeah, it's a short week for me.
No.
Busy week. Okay, why are you standing up?
My watch told me to.
Oh. So, yeah, this whole Apple Watch telling you to stand thing or whatever.
Dylan's like a walking like gender reveal right now. Like, we can cut him in half and see.
Oh,
If I do a handstand, it's a boy.
Yeah. He's got pink shirt and very light blue shorts. It's nice.
Wow. All right, we have questions this week from JoeColeslaw, Alan, SuperHyperMightyWepaman, Mansocks, and...
Hey, yo, Vinny.
What's up?
What's going on?
What's crack-a-lackin'?
What's crack-a-lackin'?
Vinny has his own custom like avatar thing in our Discord now.
Ooh,
that
fancy.
JoeColeslaw made it. It's good.
Super
Hey, yo,
cool. All
what's
right.
the question?
Yeah, we're done. All right. Vinny wants to know, assuming you could let's try that again. Vinny wants to know, assuming you could magically make the same amount of money, I don't want to make the same amount of money. I want to make a lot more. His question this week. His question this week is: do you actually believe you could be a full-time streamer? How about a full-time job at a place like IGN? I know we all say we wish we had the time to play more games, but is it possible that in jobs such as that you get too tired of games and start to lose interest in playing those games? It seems that playing games for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week would become pretty repetitive in due time. Well, I mean, I'll reference again back to some of the IGN podcasts. I'll hear these guys talk about it. They're like, I played this game, but I only had like 2 hours this week to play this game, and this game. So
I mean, I think these are two separate questions, essentially.
How do we want to start?
Well, first of all, let's talk about this. Assuming you could magically make the same amount of money,
I think the idea was like I can't quit my job to become a streamer because I'd be homeless.
So we're saying you are going to live a comfortable life like you do now as a streamer,
I know, but I'm just getting down to the literal question here. I would not like to make the same amount of money.
You want to make more.
I would like to make 4 to 5 times that.
I actually wrote
but awesome. Remember, you never have to leave your home in the case of streaming.
That would be, I would want even more money so that I could make my mansion as palatial and as accommodating as possible.
It doesn't matter.
You can. You'll have all that free time not commuting to do your own home improvements.
There you go.
I don't do my own home. I don't do hard labor.
But you will have all this time now because you're not commuting in Seattle traffic, so you can take on new endeavors.
Anyway, what do you think? Could you stream 8 hours a day, all the stress, all the people, all the whatever that comes with that?
I think I could. Yeah, I think I could. But I would be that guy. So I would be that guy that's like, all right, well, I just played an hour of this game and I died every time at this one spot. I'm going to play something different. So you would see me literally stream probably 7 different games over the course of 8 hours.
I think that's the thing is I might be able to be a variety streamer. Because I don't want to play Fortnite for hours and hours and hours. I think it would be this is actually very much the pretending to be happy person is I have a very hard time pretending to be that on for more than an hour or 2 at a time. So I don't know if I could do 8 hours straight. I might be able to do like 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off. Like you stream 4 times during the day for a total of 8 hours. But I think being that engaged for hours and hours and hours is really hard by myself. It might be interesting to do it. Like I might be able to do that with other people. Like if we all were variety streamers playing the same multiplayer games together, I think I could do that
would be a different
for a while.
Right?
But I think it would be very hard. I think people don't realize how stressful being a streamer is. It's very hard to stay engaged with your people. It's very hard to be constantly
with dummies.
Dealing not even dealing with dummies, but dealing with people that are very well intentioned that are trying to get you to play the game different than you are. I was playing GTA one time, and
people
like
that mean well, but there's also the trolls. So it's
some dude who wants, hey, go do this. I can show you where you can get the best guns. I'm like, I'm just trying to beat this game, man. Like I don't care where the best guns are. This gun shoots bullets. It's great.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
right.
And like trying to, and it's hard because there's the balancing act. Like you can't just tell that guy to like, hey, go away.
Can you please stop?
Yeah.
Then you just lost.
You just lost your viewers. And so like building that audience huge. I think once you get to the point where you have an audience, keeping that audience is very, very hard. And and I mean, they were showing the other day that Ninja, the fork knife dude, went over a weekend to go compete in a like million. I don't even think it was he wasn't going to make money. It was like $1 million charity tournament, and he lost 40,000 subs that week, which is I mean, for a weekend, he went away, lost 40,000 subs, and that's $200,000. You know, like, I mean,
jeez,
maybe that math doesn't. Maybe it's
still, that's
$20,000.
a lot.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, it's a ton of money, and so
just because he went to do some charity stuff.
Yeah, just because he wasn't around, like, you know, it's
people wanted their stream.
Well, a lot of people subscribe via the Amazon Twitch integration. So, like, if you're a Twitch Prime member, you get that $5 sub. But if you're not, they don't auto renew. So you have to remind people
do it every month
to do it.
right?
So if you're not there on your stream, say like, "Hey guys, if you're not here, make sure to slam on that renew button." If you're not there, then they don't do it. And I'm sure he built those people back up. But there's a lot of stress in streaming. So, question 1. I'm like a maybe. You're a.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I would at least try it and see. I'd like to see if I could do it for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Could I do it? Probably.
Yeah.
Do I want to? Probably not.
Yeah.
Do I actually want to? No. Like, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I want to enjoy video games when I play them.
Yeah.
Like, that's an escape.
It's
hard.
not
a job.
Yeah.
Right.
This is something we can do while enjoying games, while still like trying to produce content based on games. We're not really geared into anything we have to do.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly pretty antsy. I don't think I can actually sit down that long. Like, something that's nice about my job is like I get to go out and shoot things with a camera.
There you go.
And I come back and I can move a lot. Like, I'm not really locked into my desk all the time, and that's a huge bonus.
Yeah. I think that it's, for me, like, the answer is like I could stream anytime I want, and all the time I'm like, dang, I'm going to stream every day this week, and I'll stream like once because I go to sit down like I'm going to stream tonight. I don't know. I'm kind of tired. I don't know if this would be a great stream. I don't know. It's kind of late. I don't know.
I play a lot of console games, and I've got this glorious giant HDR 4K TV. I don't want to hook it up to my
on your TV.
puny little 28-inch monitor and sit there and like,
like
me.
It's hard
with a camera in my face.
Well, like,
although
like streaming's hard. Like, it doesn't matter how long I've done it for.
I have to wear a shirt.
I have to wear a shirt. Sometimes I'm not wearing pants, though. I will be honest. There you go.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I don't think you can.
You have to be in an over 18 stream for that. But either way,
fine.
What about would you work at IGN?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Yes.
Same.
I totally would. I would not lose my love of games. I would work there. I would nerd out all the time. I would be so like asking me if I could work at IGN is like asking me if I could work in radio when I was like 19.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. That's what I'm still doing 20 years. Well, not 20 years. Yeah, 20 years later. Oh, crap.
If IGN wasn't in San Francisco, for me, though, like, I mean, okay, so if we're saying the same, like, hey, I'll make the same money I make. Man, can I live in San Francisco for the money I make now? I might have to make more money.
No. The answer is no.
The answer is not a lot.
I can make good money for Seattle, but I don't know if that's good money in Seattle, or in San Francisco. But either way, let's say that they provided me enough money to keep me in the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to. I would go work for IGN in a heartbeat, like literal heartbeat. There's been quite a few jobs that have come up at IGN that I'm like, ooh, I could do that. And I have not done them because I wouldn't make enough money to live in San Francisco.
Right.
But in a heartbeat, that would be my dream job. Dylan? You could work with Sean Finnegan, man.
I think
you could cover nothing but wrestling games.
I think it would be depending what I did. Right. If I did their video productions...
Oh, their video productions look so fun, man.
Then sure. Right. I don't want to review video games. I don't want to actually play games for a job.
Right.
No.
And
like,
I think,
that's like... So I don't know if it's exactly what Vinny was looking for when he asked a question.
Well, I mean, I think that's the reality. It's like, I don't want to go work on their, guides team. That would be horrible.
Right.
But I would love to do what I do now.
I'm not nearly good enough at games to write a guide.
Me either.
No.
But I would love to do what I do now for IGN, or I would love to be one of their, I'm not good looking enough to be one of their, on camera folk.
No offense to the guys that are on camera, because I love all of you, and not that any of you are even listening to me right now, but I would
are you
say
saying
that
I'm as good looking as them?
I would say that we are all perfectly attractive enough to be on camera.
I appreciate that.
I would say that.
Yeah, but I would love to do their, like, hey, I write some articles. Hey, I do some podcasting. Hey, I do some video stuff. Like that. That's my dream job, man.
Now you're giving me ideas. Now I want to like look into their job like openings and be like, y'all got like some audio producer level kind of stuff?
I guarantee you they do. Like, it's cool.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I know, right? I tell you, it happens probably once every 6 months where I'm like, oh, I could legit do that
San
job.
Francisco's pretty cool too.
San Francisco's a great city, but man, I just like, I guarantee you that they do not pay the, $175,000 a year that I need to live there.
I know my brother bought a parking spot for like $40,000, so
I know that they're
that's San Francisco.
I know that, the reason that a lot of people leave IGN, like Alana Pierce that just left, was sharing an apartment with like 4 other people in San Francisco because that's what they pay.
In that.
Yeah. Nah.
Meh. Oh, well.
I like my job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this gig's awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, but IGN that's like dream job.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Anyway.
All right. Thank you for that question, Vinny. Up next, Joe Coleslaw wants to know, what games are you nostalgic for? And what games have you bought again or bought like an HD, a remaster, emulator, etc., and were disappointed or did not live up to your memories? Was it affected by your nostalgia and love of the game, or did you simply grow out of it? Is nostalgia something to invest in, or can it be dangerous? Well,
I like the fact that nostalgia could just stab you.
Yes.
I kind of do err on the at some point you are kind of, I think, throwing money down a well and you're not really getting it back, because at least for me, I know when I go back and play games, they're just not the same. Like, it's better just to remember them.
Well, I honestly think, though, it depends on what era of gaming you're looking at in particular. Because your age, like the games you come up on, were probably, PS2, 360, maybe some
He's got that SNES.
I had an SNES and I had an NES and an N64 when I was growing up and really started playing games. So, I played most of the consoles, but... And sure, like, playing old NES games is probably more fun than playing N64 games.
Oh, yeah.
Same with
you can
same
still
with SNES
play
games.
Mega Man and enjoy it, but I think to run the gamut of revisiting old games that you really enjoyed, you're probably going to get less return on your investment unless you really select a few games that you know are going to hold up, and that's Mario, that's Mega Man.
Yeah.
And then I think that goes to which way you're going to go. Are you going to go for the OG version of it, or are you going to go for the remaster, the HD stuff? So I think if you're talking PS2 era, PS2, Xbox, original PlayStation, N64, GameCube, if you talk about those games, those original games, they don't all hold up all that well, just because that was when they were learning 3D and they were learning all this stuff.
Well, it's just the systems weren't strong enough to actually make those things happen,
So I think if you were to take your favorites from that era and remaster them for the new ones, by all means, go back down that road, because if they update them again, if they update them like they did with... the one the big one that the big remake, Shadow of the Colossus. Where they didn't just reskin it and make it look pretty, they redid everything from the ground up. And it plays like a current gen game, but it is that old game.
Yeah.
Do it that way. Yeah. And if you're going to go for the OG stuff, you want that original game, do your 16-bit era or your 8-bit era, because those games, those are classic. They don't change. They play just the same now as they did then, because there was really only one way of getting it done.
I agree for the most part. To me, I'm not a big fan of just reskins. Because I think so often the game mechanics weren't good enough.
Right, that's more the problem. I don't really care how bad it looks. Yeah, for the most part.
A lot of those old games just don't play very well anymore. For older stuff than that, I think it very much depends on a person, but almost every SNES, NES game that I play now, the nostalgia is way bigger than the actual enjoyment of playing them. Right. I want to play Final Fantasy 3/6, and I've started playing it. I don't even know how many times, and then I get in and go man, this is not the game that I remember spending what felt like my entire childhood playing. In my head, I've played that game for 7,000 hours because it was all I ever wanted to play. And in reality, I probably played 30 hours of that game. Right. But, I go back to it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun. But the reason I didn't buy an SNES Classic or an NES Mini or any of those is I know that I would play it twice and then never
Right.
play it again because they just don't. There's a million games out right now that I want to play.
Yeah.
And
there's a million games like that out now that are new and not old and you could play.
yeah, and I think the funny thing is like nostalgia is very big for me. Like I watch, it doesn't matter what Star Wars movie I watch, like it can literally be any of them, and I just get like this weird like feeling that I can't even describe. Like it's just like joy. And it's from the original trilogy, like kind of skipping 1, 2, and 3. Like I don't get that feeling for those, but any of the new ones too. And it doesn't matter if I'm watching a commercial for it. It's just like, oh, this is my thing. And I watch those movies, and the entire time just like, oh, this is my thing. I don't get that feeling for video games, old video games at all. It just, every once in a while I hear a song and go like I get it more from the music for video games than I do actually playing it. Like I'm like, oh, that's that song from Final Fantasy. That's that, that's the Link theme song. That's the Castlevania theme song. I'm like, yes, that. But I don't get the big nostalgia hits from the old games really. They're fun. I mean, they're cool, and it doesn't make them any lesser of a game. It just means that I'm old and I don't have much time anymore.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what you want to get out of the nostalgia. If you just want to sit down and go, I remember the time. Or if you want to sit down and spend 8 hours going through, you know, Super Metroid, whatever. Yeah. All right. Thank you for that, JoeColeslaw. Up next, Alan would like to know if you could resurrect any old IP or dev studio, either having been killed off completely or just faded away, which one and why? Ubisoft. Oh, no, wait. Sorry.
I think they're still around.
EA? No, they're still. Okay.
I want to say like Origins from the late 90s. Which EA bought and then kind of shuttered. And not because they put out anything spectacular or amazing, but just because they put out some really cool games. Like the Wing Commander series and the Privateer series. And even like LucasArts from that same time period where they were doing all the awesome, LucasArts in general, where they were putting out all the awesome adventure games and putting out all the awesome Star Wars games. Maybe LucasArts would be my choice. But like from a pretty specific time period of games that I probably, like based on the last question, don't actually want to play anymore.
Right.
But I loved what LucasArts did in like the late 90s. So I could get behind LucasArts.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
Dylan, anyone for you in particular?
I'm trying to think of how old I should go here, but
how deep of a dive?
I think 2 games kind of come to mind. Would be
Battletoads.
The Condemned, or was it Condemned?
Yeah.
On the 360, they had two games, and then that didn't go anywhere. And I really enjoyed those games. It was kind of a first-person shooter, but wasn't too shootery. It was more like stealth with like a forensic element, because you were like a cop who could like find evidence in the crime scenes, and you would then solve the mystery, so to speak. But it was a cool game because it was like, if you had a revolver, you would like open the chamber of the revolver and see how many bullets you had. Like it was very much about like you have limited resources to survive, and I don't know, like it felt high stakes. I really enjoyed that franchise. And then Fear is another one, which I like. It's one of it's kind of those games that you're like, what happened to those? Like, and I'd love to see a bright new shiny Fear game with a little girl just blazing on fire in a hallway. Like, it scares you.
I don't know if I've ever played a game, like I don't play a lot of horror games, so that's part of it. Like straight up horror games have I don't ever want to go play Outcast or Outlast, whatever. Like those games just don't appeal to me. I'm not going to play Resident Evil, whatever. But Fear,
Resident Evil 2 looks so good.
Oh, Fear was one of those games that made a really good mix of just like good first-person shooting mechanics and just scare the literal crap out of you.
Yeah.
Like there were, I played that game like when my wife was pregnant, and so we were spending a lot of time at home just because she didn't want to go out a lot. And there are points in that game where I'd be playing in a lit room with someone else in it during the day, and like screaming out loud a little bit because that game was scary.
Yeah, it was kind of the giddy fear too, where you were like kind of excited to be scared.
Well, it's like Dead Space,
because it wasn't. It wasn't like. It was mostly kind of jump scary and like atmosphere scary. So it wasn't like really dark, scary subject matter. It was more just the atmosphere the game created. And I just remember playing the first Fear where we'd all be together and we'd shut off all the lights to play the game because you knew that's how you had to play it. And just remembering what that was.
That's a good call. That game was great.
So I think, and I've got two of them as well. So the two that I would go for, I don't know if I would resurrect it so much as I would just remaster it, but not just a reskin, but like a true remaster like they did with Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
I would love to see them bring back the Parasite Eve series.
Well, I've heard good things about those.
Those were amazing. Great. That was on the original PS1. So good. And I don't even know if the story needs to be continued. I think they could just redo those two games and just, here you go, one and done. They could continue this other one, but I'd be super, super okay with a straight-up remaster of the games as well. Silent Hill.
Oh, yeah.
That was my honorable mention number.
Yeah.
Did you ever play PT?
Which one was that?
It was the Hideo Kojima demo that they made for, I want to say.
No, I didn't.
I've heard such good things about that. Such good things set in that kind of Silent Hill universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would love to see them just straight up redo it with the current gen systems.
Yeah,
I think it would be amazing.
That'd be cool. I think that's a game that'll come back. I really do.
Hope so.
I think it will.
It's weird. It kind of just disappeared.
Yeah, it was just it was a really popular franchise. It did really well. They didn't have amazing games. They didn't have terrible games.
They quit while they were ahead, I guess.
Solid.
I think the thing is that game made a big enough impact in gaming culture that you can go to every year at PAX, there's someone that is, or multiple someones cosplaying as people from that game.
No, sure.
There's always the nurses, there's always the pyramid guy, there's always, it's a
right.
It's
and
the
movie, while the movie wasn't great by any means, it was not a bad movie. It was perfectly fine.
I don't think I realized there was a Silent Hill movie.
It was good. Well, it wasn't great. It was a solid
watchable.
Okay. It was watchable. All right, thank you for that question, Alan. Up next, Super Hyper Mighty Weapon Man. With Mario Rabbids being such a unique combo, what other world would you guys like to see mixed into the Mario Rabbids? Maybe Mega Man themed?
I love the idea of that we're not. I love that this question isn't what two game genres would you like to see mixed. It's what other genre do you want to see mixed into Mario versus Rabbids?
Right.
And yes, Mega Man is definitely the one I want. Because they just added Donkey Kong.
Why don't they add Zelda? Why don't they add a Hyrule kind of thing?
Oh, Zelda would be good. Who is Donkey King?
Donkey King?
Have you never seen that Jeopardy? Oh God, we'll find it.
It's my favorite thing when I see it.
Search Jeopardy Donkey King meme. It makes me so happy.
Done.
This is a soul door.
Anyway, I think that Zelda would be awesome. I would love like early Final Fantasy, or even maybe a Cloud kind of like Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 7 would be a very fun addition to that. I think you could do some really cool things with the way they fight and the way they use magic and the way they do that kind of stuff.
I think they could definitely use some Kratos in God of War.
Of course they do.
Yeah. I think they
need some they need some angst.
Some angst.
Some teen angst.
No, some new God of War, some new concerned father who's actually trying to take care of instead of just going around smashing everything.
Yeah.
How about some Pokemon?
Oh, Pokemon. How about Excite Bike?
I think all of those are good ideas.
I just want to.
I don't think there's any wrong game that you can match up with.
Let's just take all 30 games from the or 60 games from the NES Classic and the SNES Classic and figure out some way to make a tactical
Excite Bike
battle game inside of Mario vs. Rabbids. I'm down. I think it's great.
I think if they put Pokemon in there, though, you have over 600 new characters.
Are Pokemon good or bad? Are there good Pokemon and bad
I think
Pokemon?
you would team up with some Pokemon, but you can also fight them.
So I don't actually know the answer to that. Are there good Pokemon and bad Pokemon, or are Pokemon all neutral? And
I think it's a nurture versus nature thing.
That's the best answer that you could possibly have said.
I don't think there are any bad Pokemon. I think
they're not inherently bad.
But there are bad people that
there are bad people that use Pokemon.
And they fight for you because they're loyal.
Yeah. So the Pokemon are not bad.
They're
just
your friends.
Those are good
Pokemon. For the master.
So it's like a genie?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you rub the Pokeball and they poof, they pop out. It's just like a genie. But I'm just saying, if you add Pokemon, you now have 600 different characters that can run around the map and do cool tactical moves with all their different, elemental abilities. They're not going to use all 600, but I'm saying you have 600 to choose from. So, preferably Pikachu and not Vanillux. the ice cream cone. Pokemon.
I can't wait for the new Pokemon game on Switch because I'm going to buy it and I'm going to figure out what all this Poke crap's about.
We can trade Pokemons.
Yeah, you're so not good.
I'm so excited.
We'll catch up with you about 3 years after it comes out to find out what you've learned.
Excellent.
Yeah, your brain will be...
More so.
Right. All right, thank you for that question, Super Hyper Mighty Wepaman. And finally, Mansocks, question for the week. Favorite chicken nugget dipping sauce? Hot mustard, barbecue, sweet and sour.
Please don't say ketchup.
Ranch, ketchup, Szechuan, etc. Sweet and sour for life, bro. That's from Mansocks.
The question that I need answered is if Mansocks deliberately put ketchup in here or not. Like, I don't know if he's just like, oh yeah, some people dip in ketchup, or he's like, Dylan hates ketchup. I don't know.
I don't hate ketchup. I hate ketchup on chicken, specifically
Whatever.
chicken nuggets.
Well, sir.
Chicken nuggets is worse than...
Well, it's a thing. So I'm glad he put the et cetera in there because I was like, I don't see mine. Honey mustard would be mine.
Honey mustard's
Honey
good.
mustard's delicious. Hot mustard is delicious.
Hot
Barbecue,
mustard, yeah.
sweet and sour.
They're all really
Ranch.
good. Ketchup's
I haven't
fine
had
too.
Szechuan.
I've never had Szechuan either.
Oh, so that was the Rick and Morty tie-in that they did. Evidently.
Well, I mean, that was a real dipping sauce first, too. Yeah, this wasn't just a Rick and Morty thing.
Oh, I thought the Szechuan sauce was introduced because of Rick and Morty.
No. It existed for a while, and then they pulled it. It was like a temporary one, and then they wanted it back.
Oh, see, I thought it was the other way around
Nope.
where they... Either way, I heard the Szechuan's not good.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I like Szechuan beef.
I haven't had chicken nuggets in like...
Okay, so if you were to take your
15
weird
years,
veggie chicken nuggets...
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I just kind of dip those in whatever. Like,
Ketchup?
Yeah, probably. No. I'm trying to think of what I do. Like, I haven't had those for a while either. Like, ranch, maybe. But I like sweet and sour. So, like, back in the day when I used to, like, eat chicken nuggets, like, I'm not judging. Like, chicken nuggets are awesome. Like, don't take that as, like, oh, Cliff doesn't eat chicken nuggets. He's one of them. Chicken nuggets are awesome, and sometimes I wish I could revel in the convenience of chicken nuggets.
And I'm not... I'm not making fun of anybody's spelling by any means. I just have to point out that the sweet and sweet and sour is spelled sweat and sour.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't know who put that in there. I'm not going to make fun of anybody in particular.
It's just funny.
I just think that's freaking funny.
Anyway.
Best typo ever.
That was Mansocks. I used to love like McDonald's sweet and sour sauce, but I always used to like dipping them in honey. Is honey even an option anymore at McDonald's? Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've not been there.
I've never really been super hot on the sweet and sour, and I think it's like I've had some sweet and sours I like, and I've some aren't as sweet as I like, I think. Then they lean more on the sour, and that's not what I'm about. But
I'm just bitter.
in the end, dip your chicken nuggets in sauce, not ketchup, please.
Oh, man.
Everyone should take a picture of them dipping a chicken nugget in ketchup and send it to us.
It's gross. I might vomit.
Please do.
Oh,
Please
my God.
do. I would never. Rarely would I encourage people to do this.
You can have so much more enjoyment in your life if you like put it in a sauce and not ketchup.
We need a Dylan
It's just
React
way-
video.
Let's make
way
this
too
happen.
bland.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this.
Like, why don't you just put a tomato between your two chicken nuggets and eat it? Like, there you go.
It's
sounds
not
pretty good, actually.
You don't like tomatoes, do you?
No, I like tomatoes. Like, they're not my favorite, but I like
I'm
a
pretty
nice
sure
tomato
this is
slice
just
on my
another
burger.
one of like the weird Dylan thing.
He doesn't like Deadpool.
Yeah. It's just another one of those, like, Dylan has irrational hatreds of things. I like it. I think it's what makes
I
Dylan
have a
Dylan.
physiological reaction that makes me kind of nauseous.
I know. I'm so
It's
excited.
not, I don't think that's not me just making it up.
I'm very excited for the
Okay,
pictures. That's what I'm mostly looking forward to. I would also like to tell you my favorite chicken nugget story of the last little while is Dylan and I don't remember why, but Dylan and I were like, we should just have a light lunch because we were doing something.
yeah.
I don't know. Do you remember what we were doing? Like, we had a thing after work, or we knew we were going to a concert. That's what it was.
Right, we were going to go see
Dylan
Primus and
I-
Mastodon.
Yeah, we're going to go see Primus and Mastodon. And we're like,
Like, we
hey,
should
we know we're going to be
probably get a
eating
snack.
early because the gates opened at like 6.
Oh, yeah, we were going to get dinner right after we left
Yeah,
work.
so we're like, we're going to be eating dinner at 4,
Yeah.
so we should just get like a light lunch. And I'm like, dude,
Jamba
let's
Juice.
go to Jamba Juice. We got a Jamba Juice. And had a Jamba Juice. It was good. Dylan's like, I think I want
Smoothies don't count as food, Adam.
But I was trying to figure out where chicken nuggets come to play at Jamba Juice.
So Dylan's like, but I think I want a little something extra.
Because smoothies don't really count as food.
Yeah, they don't count as food. And so he's
Fair,
like,
it's fair.
I'm like, well, there's a Burger King right there. Let's go get you some chicken nuggets. He's like, okay. And I'm thinking, like, in my head, I'm like,
Because I had talked about chicken nuggets earlier. We had talked about chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
It was a subject of conversation, so I was kind of like craving chicken nuggets.
yeah. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, like, he's going to get like a 4-piece chicken nugget or whatever.
Oh, no.
And we get there, Dylan's like, I think I don't remember. Did you get a 10 or a 20
It's a
piece?
20 piece.
I'm like, well, this just went from a light lunch to Dylan ate a shake and 20 chicken nuggets.
Because how much is 20 chicken nuggets at Burger King?
Like $3 or something.
It was like,
I don't know.
yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm going to get 20.
The thing I don't remember is what sauce he got.
Barbecue.
Barbecue. There you go.
In that case.
Well, I like barbecue sauce a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. That's like
Burger
when,
King's barbecue sauce is pretty good.
that's like when Kevin goes to McDonald's and he's like, I need 2 20-piece chicken nuggets. I'm like, are you
Jesus.
kidding
Yeah,
me?
me and my friend plowed through, like, we almost finished 140, I think,
Yeah.
in
I
college.
think the thing is I stopped eating chicken nuggets before you could even get a 10 piece. I think when you used to get chicken nuggets, it was like you got 6. Like you got a chicken nugget meal. It was 6 chicken nuggets and some fries. And now they're like, you want a 50 piece? It's $20. I'm like, all right.
Of course I want that many.
Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for that question,
I'm going to go get some chicken nuggets.
Mansocks. All right, let's wrap this up. It's time for some cheap free games. There are new games in Origin Access, which that is the PC
Yeah, that's the PC
side of
thing.
EA's subscription service.
Yeah,
Tell
so like
me more.
$5 a month or
$30
a year. There's actually a ton of games in that service too. Like that is deep. There's a lot of stuff. There's more stuff in that than there is in the EA Access one. But anyway, they just added City Skylines, which is a phenomenal city building game. I paid like $60 for that. So hey,
Yep, that's also. Isn't that in Game Pass?
I believe so. Yeah. So hey, whatever. It's very good. They also just added Darksiders War Mastered Edition, along with Rime, which is phenomenal. Go play Rime. I love that game so much. Orwell, Ignorance is Strength, Mad Games Tycoon, Jotun, which is a fun game, the Valhalla Edition, Ghost 1.1, and Crashlands. So I've heard Crashlands is really good too. I do not own that, but I've almost bought it a bunch of times. So
Nice.
They just added, what's that, like 7
There you
games
go.
to Origin. So
Worth the subscription.
Totally worth $5 a month if you're a PC player.
And don't forget to click on Twitch and get more of your free games.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
still
yeah,
stuff
thank you. I
going
need
on
to remember
there.
that.
I think I've got all of them so far.
I've got all of them so far, I think.
I hope I haven't missed.
I think it's kind of hard to miss them as long as you periodically go in.
Yeah.
I think you can get
I think a
quite
couple
lot
of them were a single day only, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Broken Ages today.
Well, I just got The Bridge and what is this other one here? Brutal Legend.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
Good
go.
stuff.
Oh no. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So there's that. Find us online, ByteMePodcast.com. We are an official Humble Bundle partner, so check out ByteMePodcast.com/humble, and you can see all the latest and greatest Humble Bundles that there are. Help out some nonprofits.
Right now, there's actually a platformer bundle, too. It's not an actual bundle. It's just they're doing like a platformer sale, and there's like 20 games there that are a really good deal and a lot of fun. So
go do
you
that.
You can get it on our website, too. So.
Yeah. Find us on the social medias at Byte Me Podcast, and we got a Patreon, patreon.com/ByteMePodcast. Give us money.
The cost of 1 cup of coffee. Now, coffee's really expensive
like,
now.
that's
Gee,
like-
you can get it. You can get second tier easy for a cup of coffee.
Easy. Is that it?
You can be listening to that podcast today instead of 2 days
I'm
from
going
now.
to try and get this up there. I got to go to the bathroom first, so let's wrap this up.
Done.
Yep.